Well, a good Wednesday evening, everyone. I thought I would do a weather extra on the upcoming cold spells that are coming our way. And I'll tell you what, it is going to get very cold for this weekend. And believe it or not, the next weekend after that is going to get much colder. Let's go ahead and take a look at the weather maps. What's going on here is, let me go ahead and move forward to tomorrow. Okay, we have one Arctic front through. There's another front that is located just up there. All right, and that's going to swing through. Now, tomorrow the first front moves through. I don't expect much precipitation, a mix of clouds and sunshine, and that should be about it. And then as we head on to Friday, the flow goes more northwesterly, and that's when we can get really some lake effect bands kicking on in. That's when the core of the coldest air will move in. Friday afternoon, Friday evening, Friday night, and then over the weekend, the high sinks to our south, which I usually sit there and say, all right, so Saturday we start off with some flurries, and then the high gets to our south, and maybe some sunshine Saturday afternoon. Then a clipper system moves by, gives us some snow showers Sunday, and then watch next week this big Arctic high just settle on into the region. The front crosses on Tuesday night into Wednesday. Now, when we get an Arctic front like this, and the timing will change, but a lot of times we can get some bands of snow squalls right with the Arctic front that can cause a lot of problems. That was the case in the early 2000s with the pileup on I-80. But this is a really cold air mass that is moving on in, especially for December standards. And that Arctic air mass sticks around for a while through the middle of the month. Boy, it is just going to be brutal and cold for a while. Let's go ahead and take a look at the temperature anomalies. And this is tomorrow afternoon. The cold air starts moving in tomorrow night. Then Friday evening. And then as we head on into Saturday, and this is a GFS model, you're seeing temperatures good 10 to 16 degrees below average. So that's pretty cold through Saturday evening. We warm up a little bit on Sunday, a little closer to average, but then I wanted to show you the blob of cold that is coming our way later next week. Look at that, Wednesday into Thursday. We're talking about temperatures over 20 degrees below average. So that is a brutal air mass. It will lift out. And then you see a warm up behind that Arctic high, but it's just a recharge, and there'll be more later on in the month. Let's go ahead and take a look now. This is the 2-meter temperature anomaly with the GEFS. You can see that temperatures and that black line represents average right here. So you can see that. You can see how temperatures are going to drop below average by a good bit this weekend. Well, actually Friday into Saturday. Then we rebound a little bit. Look at this brutal stretch. Now, this isn't true temperatures. This is compared to average, so don't think it's going to be minus 25 degrees. But I won't be shocked if some places don't get out of the teens as we head on into next week. So this is a brutal Arctic air mass, but then we will rebound a little bit. So I showed you the GFS model. Let me now go ahead and show you. Let me switch on over. Let's go ahead and show you the European 850 temperatures. And here's the first air mass. This is Friday evening, Saturday morning. We're talking about 850s getting to about minus 12, minus 13. That's pretty cold for this time of the year. Let me point out something to you for everyone who's showing these maps. Originally, in the longer range, the European was showing it going down to about minus 16. So it doesn't always quite get as cold as what it shows. Let me show you Arctic air outbreak number 2. Look at that blob of minus 30 degree air. Now remember, last time around, it rebounded some. But we're talking about next Wednesday evening, 850s about minus 23. That is cold. And one thing that will be kicking on is a lake effect snow machine. Let me go ahead and throw on. Now this is going to be a little coarser because I have the GFS here. Let me go ahead and see if I can throw on something here. Well, hang on a second. I'm going to pop. Okay, I popped off for a second because I wanted to load up something else in here. Here's the 4-kilometer NAM. And I wanted to show you the lake effect bands that are going to be kicking on in. Now, this is behind the front. This is tomorrow afternoon at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. You notice how the snow tomorrow is mostly up to our north. I talked about that second front moving through. Watch the orientation of the bands. That's when we'll get a little more snow. Maybe some of these bands of lake effect snow make it into our area. But some places between Erie and Buffalo are just going to get pounded. And there will also be some upslope snow. Eventually, these bands will lift back northward, and on Sunday you can have some snow for the Steeler game up in Buffalo, and then we'll have more lake effect with the second go-around, with the second cold outbreak that'll be coming our way next week. Now, is this unexpected? No. The table was set for a cold December, and if you remember in my winter cast, I don't have it tremendously below average, and this may not be cold enough, but I had us 15 degrees colder than last year. And I knew we were going to have a spell of cold weather. The question is, do we get in that back and forth later in the month? That's something we'll keep an eye on. So do keep in mind some very cold air going to be coming our way. We're going to have cold air starting to drift in tomorrow. The coldest will be around Friday, Saturday. Then we'll have some snow showers Sunday. And then we're going to have another blast of cold toward the middle to latter part of next week. Tune in tonight on WTAJ News at 11. I'll have more details on your local forecast.